2015. Hit it. This next high mileage Ram episode brought to you by Real Truck. If you don't mind, stick around to the end of the video. I've got some more information I want to share with you. Welcome back to Truck Central. I'm Mr. Justin Wheeler, and this is the 2019 Ram 1500 Limited High Mileage Edition. Now, I am excited to show you guys what I got from our sponsors at realtruck.com. They sent me an SMB cold air intake to install on the old dusty Dodge. And she's dusty. And so I'm going to go over the installation process. We'll go over what it takes to remove the old one, put in the new one. And at the end of the video, we'll do a little bit of a, how does it feel? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Can I tell a difference? And we'll let you guys see what you think. All right, here we are. We got her bonnet pulled back, her goods showing, and she is just begging for an upgrade. We're going to start by removing all the factory equipment, of course. Just some hose clamps. There's some bolts holding the stock box on, and there's some bracketry down there that attaches to that. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So we'll go ahead and get started by loosening up the hose clamps. Wow, that was not tight. Interesting. A couple there, a couple here. We've got some sensor and connections to uninstall, AT sensor. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this bad boy up. This one's always seems to be a pain because you got to kind of push up on this lower tab and slide it back. Oh, she's going. There we go. Okay. Be careful not to get any dust down inside that throttle body because she's dirty underneath. Look at that. To be fair, I don't clean the engine compartment that often. The dirt in West Texas, where I spend a lot of time, is just so fine that I would be cleaning this thing every other day. And I just don't. So probably the hardest part of this whole installation is this part right here. Taking the two bolts out of the bottom of the air box, and you can access them through your fender well. There's one. I thought I was outsmarting the system by lowering the truck all the way down so I could reach in. I should have loosened these first. Not too bad. And I don't think we reuse those. I think the kit comes with new ones. There we go. That's two. You're just gonna pop out. Wow, look at that. Ooh. The wiring harness goes, wraps around, and it's connected to the bracket. So you can use a fancy wire harness puller tool like those professional mechanics have, or you can use a flathead screwdriver like 99% of America does when they have these tabs to pull out. The crazy thing is, even when you've got the right tool, half of them seem to break anyway. I retract my earlier statement about the hardest part being the fender well bolts. The hardest part's getting them damn clips off of the wire harness out. Once the wire harness clips are removed, there's 4 bolts that hold this stock airbox bracket in place. Okay. All right. Stock setup officially removed. All right, you can exercise a little creative freedom on this next part because there's a few things that need to be done and not everything has a specific order. We're going to go ahead and put this new boot on the intake of the throttle body here. And you want to tighten up the bottom. You don't want to tighten up the top yet. That's also going to be an 8mm, just like the stock hose clamp. Alright, before we get too carried away, I want to show you what this kit looks like unpackaged. We're not going to do an unboxing. But to show you all the components. It's a lot of stuff. It's not just a piece of tube and a filter. It's a lot of highly engineered components. This thing is massive, and the airbox itself is gigantic. I believe them when they say it's going to fit, but it looks a lot bigger than that one. One nice thing about this kit that I like is it doesn't just come with paper instructions. There's a QR code in the kit, and just like anything else, if you take a photo of the QR code, it brings you to SMB's full color picture guide instruction manual on how to install this stuff. So it is fairly self-explanatory, but in case there's something that catches you off guard, this kit will come with the reference material you need to get it done without much headache. Now, the way these plastic rivets work is you just offset. They're the same on both sides, and you push them together and they grab. Sit still. Oh, there we go. All right, when it goes, you know it, because you just aren't going to get that apart again. I'll tell you that. The only thing that's optional in this kit is this dust cover, they call it. And it goes right here. You have the option to install it or leave it off, depending on your driving style, where you're at, what you're doing, your climate. You can leave it out or in. Now, with it installed like this, it does restrict a little more airflow. But what it does for us is it keeps out all that dust and humidity and air and hot temperature from getting right back into the intake. So if you're somebody who's just using this kit for a weekend car, good weather, low dust environment, leave that out, because with it out you get over 50% increased airflow over stock. Where I'm at, I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to leave this in, and we still get over 30% increased airflow. So yeah, it's not as good, but it's not worth ruining your engine over. All right, so that's that. Then we've got this rubber seal. And letters go on the inside. Almost. Okay. That's obviously going to be the sealed connection from the new filter going into the motor. And make sure you double check. I've got a rolled edge here that was trying to hide from me. There we go. That's what you're looking for. Okay. Last couple things we need to do to get this box ready. Install a couple grommets on the back. And they supply you with the two that you will need for this. Everything you need is in the kit to get this done. You don't need to buy anything else. One thing I forgot to do on the stock setup was to actually remove the IET sensor, and it should just like twist. Please don't break. So you just pull out and then twist. As you can tell, there's a little ramp up that acts as a retainer once you get it rotated enough. All right, so we need that. Should have taken that off earlier, I forgot. And we will reinstall that, as well as the CCV connect that they give you. Put that in real fast. You want to run this and hand tight it first, and then come on down with it with a crescent wrench. or end wrench, whatever you like. And last quick couple things we're gonna need: your sensor adapter, which plugs in. It's just a grommet like that, and reinstall. Insert and twist till you get over that ramp portion. Alright, so we're pretty much prepped and ready to complete the install. We've got a throttle body boot on. We've got our snorkel and snorkel seal. And you'll notice there's 4 mounting points here. That's what's going to attach to the box. We'll go ahead and slide this in, and it should kind of hold itself. Oh yeah, nice and tight. So you need to get the snorkel lined up with the box, the right angle. And then I'm going to go ahead and get those bolts loosely started, and then we'll mount the box to the body of the truck. Alright, so they give you the 4 bolts, washers, and lock washers needed to get this started. So those are snugged up. Now we'll grab the 2 bolts we saved from earlier. Those will run through the grommets and go right back into the factory mount location. Alright, we are on the home stretch. Now that we've got the snorkel bolts tight, the 2 body bolts tight, all we have left to do is run the 2 bolts up through the fender. And this would be easier with 2 people. I'm going to see what I can do here. I'm just going to have to get a little flexible. Oh, that ain't too bad. We'll get them handy. Come back in with some tools. The first one started. The second one doesn't look quite as aligned. There we go. Not bad. We're going to tighten those up. Get on to the fun part. Well, here we go. Actually putting the intake portion of the system, hooking it to the air box. It's just that simple. Now before we tighten that hose clamp, I'm going to put the CCV tube back on, if I can reach it. Let's see if we got to push up on that. There we go. Yep, that's it. IAT sensor. Click. Try to get that lined up with the other one just so it looks nice and consistent. I am impressed with the quality of these parts. You know, they've got their logo molded just about everywhere you can imagine, and they're obviously proud of what they sell. We'll see how it holds up, but I have no fears about this thing not taking a beating. It is solid. Next up is putting the actual filter element. Is filting a word? To filter? To filt? And just make sure you are positioning the hose clamp in such a way where you'll be able to get a nut driver or screwdriver on it. We need to put on the clear S&B cover, which is kind of, you know, what they're known for, and I really like, because when you've got these filters you need the maintenance. It makes it really nice being able to just look in at a glance. I'm going to start over here in the center. That way when I come back around it meets right here in the center. It's always better for these gaskets that attach at one point to make sure they meet on a straight line versus you don't want it to meet here at a corner. We got the gasket all set in its groove. It was a little tricky. My suggestion or advice to you is just massage it in as you go. Just start on one side, massage it around. If you try to kind of stretch it into that gap, you'll never get it. So take your time, go slow. Now let's peel the plastic off of this guy. Okay. That's the top. This is as clean as this thing's ever going to be, so I want to get this thing on here immediately. Well, there it is, guys. That's about as good as it gets in terms of looks. Now we'll see how she performs. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to install a part and give you feedback same day. I don't think that's really fair to you guys or to the manufacturer of the part. Maybe it's good first day, maybe it's bad. So after I finished installing the SMB intake that day, same afternoon, I started on a 2,500 mile drive from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania and back, pulling a trailer, no less. And I really wanted to see if it made a difference, if I could tell. And, you know, there's a little bit of audible difference, nothing major. Now, pulling that trailer was interesting because, well, you know, I pull trailers all the time, and I've never gotten as good of a mile per gallon as I did on that trip. For the 2,500 mile round trip, I averaged 13.8 or 13.9 miles a gallon. I've never seen the teens when pulling a trailer. Now, the trailer wasn't heavy. It was about 4,000 pounds, I believe. But still, I mean, pulling a 4,000 pound trailer all the way up to Pennsylvania and back, 13.8 miles per gallon, that's pretty solid. Now, is that because of the intake? I don't know. You can't do one test and have conclusive results, but it is encouraging. I will give it that. So then we dropped the trailer off. I drove down to West Texas. It was about, well, I've done about 500 miles without the trailer, and everything works great. I've popped the hood and I've looked at it a couple times to make sure nothing's rattled loose, and it's really looking great. So now we'll find a nice quiet spot to kind of give it the juice. I just really want to give it like a 30 miles per hour to 60 hit, and we'll see how she handles it. We're at 32, 31, hit it. So, not bad. I think I want to hit it from a lower speed, see if I can notice more of a difference. Could you hear it? I could. Sounds good. Sounds good. But it might sound better soon. Alright. Coming to a stop here. At 15 miles per hour, we'll go ahead and goose it a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, there is that kind of classic hesitation on the throttle response. I hit it, and it's about a full second before it actually sends it. And I know that there's some devices out there to fix that, but you know, this isn't stock now except for that intake. All right, 15, hit it. 60. Spun the tires a little bit. All in all, guys, so far I'm very happy with the installation with the product. If you're thinking about going with the cold air intake, definitely give the SMB a look. You can find it at realtruck.com. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I'd like to talk to you. As always, thanks for watching.